Buying or selling a home as is on the real estate market today is fairly common. This is Robbie Thomas from Realty Experts. And as Americans move more often and the practice of renovating rundown homes for profit grows more widespread, many sellers aren't finding it necessary to repair the defects in their current property before putting it on the market. They are much more liable today to find a buyer who is willing to purchase the home, defects and all, especially because of the extremely low inventory and the low interest rates. Okay, now how does the as is selling work? Let's dive in. The process is really simple. The contract simply states that the seller is not responsible for making any repairs to the home before the buyer takes possession. That the buyer agrees that there are some exceptions like city code violations that's best addressed during the sale of the property. The seller is still required to disclose any defects of which they are aware. Obviously, no one wants to buy a car and find out it's a lemon. If it's that serious for a $30,000 car, imagine how buyers would feel and react for a multi-million-dollar purchase of a property to make their home. So it is in the best interest for sellers to always disclose any and everything they know about the property in the seller property questionnaire and the transfer disclosure statement that are legal forms used to protect the sellers. However, if other defects appear after the sale is complete, the seller is not liable for those problems, provided they did not hide or keep that knowledge away from the condition of the home before closing of that escrow. With the as-is buying and selling process, sellers accept the fact that they're getting less money or may get less money for their home. Buyers are entitled to a lower price to make up for the cost of repairs, although not usually the case in a hot seller's market. Usually, sellers who put their homes on the market as is are not as interested in high market values as they are in a quick sale, or they simply do not have the resources or the time to manage the work and fix all the repairs before the sale. To sell a home as is, however, a home inspection is still recommended. Both parties, the buyer and the seller, must be aware of the damages so that the buyers know what they are getting into and the sellers know approximately how much they are going to lose in market value at closing of escrow. Purchasing a home with knowledge of its condition allows a buyer to examine the budget and decide if purchase price plus repair cost is worth it or not. Usually it is. The buyer is essentially paying less because they are willing to go through the hassle of repairs. The time also depends on market conditions too, and not necessarily because the repairs will cost a certain amount. So it's not always a limiting factor on the price. Also, often the defects in a home are perfectly livable. For example, if a seller refuses to put a new coat of paint in the rooms, then the house qualifies for an as-is sale. As an example, the industrious buyer who does not mind painting a few rooms can get their purchase price lowered for the sake of a quick, easy repair in a slow buyer's market typically. There may be more serious issues with the house, but they can be addressed differently, like foundation issues, roof issues, etc. In a home being sold as is, both sides would do well to hire some inspectors like the roof inspector, foundation experts, sewer lateral inspectors, check the house over thoroughly so everything is shown. It's advisable for the sellers to buy a home warranty too to protect them during the sale process and the buyers if anything breaks down during the close of escrow, provided the seller does not mind losing a little sticker price and the buyer does not mind a few costs down the road. It can be an excellent transaction for both sides. One gets out without having to do any work or little work and makes a quick sale. The other, the buyer, gets a bargain home that needs a little TLC they are proud of actually doing. On that note, more success to you and cheers. Stay tuned for more in-depth educational videos on real estate. Signing off here is Robbie Thomas from Realty Experts, your servant heart real estate guy. Reach me anytime at 510-374-2264.